Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at a Chinese philosophy that I've been reading about a lot recently and I found really interesting. And I'm going to be looking at it through a 2,500-year-old Chinese bronze bell. I hope you learn something new. This Chinese bronze bell, known as a bow, is 2,500 years old and was discovered in the Shanxi province of China. It's about the size of a beer barrel and is intricately decorated. It was originally part of a set, which would have been used to play music in court or even to be sounded before battle. These types of bells were integral to ancient Chinese society on both a practical and an ideological level. Practically speaking, their widespread use within music meant that, in order to be played together, they had to produce the same sound relative to each other. This meant that they adhered to a standardized size and shape. In turn, this meant they could be used to measure volume, and standardized volumes of bronze meant they could also be used as weights. As a result, a single set of bells could be used for everything, from creating music to determining prices in marketplaces. So, what was their ideological significance? The dragons and phoenixes carved into this bell represent the two cosmic forces of ancient Chinese belief. Dragons represented the male heavenly force, or yang, and the phoenix the female earthly force, or yin. These two forces are locked in an eternal struggle for dominance. It is from this struggle that all life comes, and it is the responsibility of humans to restore the balance of the cosmos through ritual. This idea demonstrates the importance of balance and harmony in Chinese society. The sound of different bells being played together to create a single melody was thought to epitomize this idea. As a result, the Chinese philosopher Confucius would have grown up surrounded by bells. In the 5th century BC, at the time of both Confucius and this bell, China was living through the turbulent Warring States period, when China was a patchwork of regional powers vying for dominance, a process exacerbated by the invention of cast iron that allowed weapons to be produced en masse. As such, the greatest thinkers of the day were concerned largely with the question of political stability, and it is for this reason that Confucius places such emphasis on the concept of harmony. He looked to the past for inspiration and turned to the golden days of the Zhou dynasty, when political balance and harmony had ruled supreme. If humans had lived in peaceful order once before, surely they could do so again. This search for harmony became fundamental to Confucian teachings, as he translated the ancient Chinese belief in the importance of metaphysical harmony into a moral concept that described how human beings should act in relation to one another. The key premise of Confucian harmony is that it is not perfect agreement, but the energy generated by the interaction of multiple, distinct parties. Effectively, the different parties both constrain and are the condition for the other's growth. It follows that harmony is necessarily relational, as it is made up of mutually dependent components. Chapter 13.23 of the Analects tells us that the moral person seeks harmony, but not sameness. This can be applied to all aspects of our world, from the cosmos to our relationship with members of our family, to our ability to respect different opinions and appreciate diversity. However, to foster a harmonious society, we must cultivate the yin, which can be translated into English as the humanity within ourselves. We can do this through li, or ritual. These are not rituals in the Western sense of the word that suggests outdated religious traditions, but simply actions that promote a sense of community or responsibility. The Book of Rites, a collection of texts describing the social administration and ceremonial rites of the Zhou dynasty, tells us the rites embody the countenance and are the manifestation of humanity. In order to come close to a harmonious society, we must first nurture the virtue within ourselves. We can do this through rites as simple as sharing a platter of food between a family, as this teaches the strong to allow the weak to eat first. Ritual is therefore the outward expression of our inner yin, and is crucial in allowing different people, parties, or elements to harmonize. The Book of Rites goes on to say, music represents humanity's harmony. Music is the process of bringing a plurality of sounds into concord to convey a message, meaning, or emotion, just as harmonization is the result of the interaction of different parties. Thus Confucius saw music as a parallel to the process of harmonization that surrounds us in every aspect of our world. Not only did he say that music reflected harmony, but that it promoted harmony by nourishing the virtue within us. So how did Confucius link all this back to the tumultuous political landscape of his era? As he turned to music to discuss harmony, he turned to the family to instill virtue. In ancient China, strict familial hierarchical rules and the responsibilities associated with different positions were accepted without question. Confucius used this as a comprehensive example of how authority can be exercised and submitted to fairly. It taught those with authority fairness and affection, and those who served that authority respect and duty. If these virtues could be applied to a family, he argued, why not to society? He reasoned that a ruler should treat his subjects as his children, nurturing and protecting them, and receiving their respect and loyalty in return. Chapter 8.2 of the Analect says, if a person in a ruling position is generous towards his family and kin, they will be inspired to act humanely. Confucius believed that if a ruler showed virtue, so too would his subjects. This would be reinforced by ritual, encouraging integrity at all social levels, leading to harmony in society. Artifacts like these give us an insight not just into the customs and conflicts of their time, but the ideas that shape these, and, by extension, that shape the society of today. To finish, I'd like to draw your attention to Chapter 3.24 of the Analects, in which an official says to Confucius' disciples that heaven is about to use your master as the wooden tongue of a bronze bell. Emperors of the past had used such bells to arouse the people, using bronze bells with bronze tongues for military orders and bronze bells with wooden tongues to announce a decree for the purpose of moral instruction. It is fitting that Confucius, whose decrees have been more influential than even those of the most powerful Chinese emperors, is described as the moral mouthpiece of heaven through an image that holds such relevance within his teachings. I hope you enjoyed that. I got my inspiration for this video from Neil McGregor's A History of the World in 100 Objects. It's available as a book and as a podcast. It's on Spotify. Each podcast is only 50 minutes long. Find one you fancy, have a listen, and I guarantee you'll learn something new. Please do like, comment, subscribe below, and see you next time.